All right. So today we are going to learn another Bhagavad Gita verse, okay? And we're also going to continue with our Ramayan story, and we'll be hearing about preparations for the war. Okay. Before we start, though, let's recite our opening prayers, okay? If we can all unmute for this so we can hear each other, that would be great. Ready? Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Rama Hare Hare.
All right. So today we're going to learn Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, verse 2. Okay. Give me 1 second here again. All right. So as usual, I'll say one word, you repeat after me, then we'll go line by line, and then we'll say the whole verse together a few times, okay? Evam.
Evam.
You can repeat after me, okay? Parampara.
Parampara.
Praptam. Imam. Rajarshayo. Vidu. Sa. Kaleneha. Mahata. Yogo. Nashta. Parantapa. Good. Now I'll say the line, and then you can repeat the line after me, okay? Evam parampara praptam.
Evam parampara praptam.
Good. Evam parampara praptam. Imam rajarshayo vidu. Imam rajarshayo vidu. Sakale neha mahata. Sakale neha mahata. Yogo nashta parantapa. Yogo nashta parantapa. Good. Now I'm going to say 2 lines, and then you can repeat after me, okay? Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. I'll say it again, and then you repeat after me, okay? Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu. Your turn.
Evam parampara praptam. Imam rajarshayo vidu.
Sakale neha mahata. Yogo nashta parantapa. Your turn. Good. Sakale neha mahata. Yogo nashta parantapa. Good. Now we're going to say the whole verse, okay? I'll say the whole verse once, and then we'll all say it together. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Now all together, okay? Ready? And let's go. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Very good. I heard a lot of you. Wonderful. Let's say it 2 more times together, okay? Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. One more time. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Wonderful. Good job, everyone. Now, does anyone want to say the verse by themselves? Dhruv, go ahead.
Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapaha.
Hey, good job. Wonderful. I see Dhwani. Go ahead. Oh, I can't hear you, Dhwani. Wonderful. So I heard the last 2 lines, but I know you were saying it. I could see you. Good job. Atishya.
Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa.
Good job. Very good. Does anyone else want to try? You can raise your hand. No? Okay, let's go to the synonyms, okay? We can say these together. The underlined words are the Sanskrit words from the verse, and then the right next to it, you see the English exact translation, okay? One moment here, let me move you so I can see my screen. There we go. Okay, let's go. Evam, thus. Parampara, a disciplic succession. Praptam, received. We're saying this all together, okay? Imam, this science. Rajarshaya, the saintly kings. Vidu, understood. Sa, that knowledge. Kalena, in the course of time. Iha, in this world.
In this world.
Mahata, great. Yoga, the
Yoga,
science of one's relationship with the Supreme. Nashta, scattered. Parantapa, O Arjuna, subduer of the enemies. Parantapa, that's the name of Arjuna. That means subduer of enemies. Arjuna has many names also. Like Krishna has many names, Arjuna has 2. Okay, let's see the translation. Who wants to see the translation? I see Nitya, go ahead.
The supreme science was thus received through the chain of discipline, succession, and the saintly kings understood it's in the way, but in course of time the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost.
As it is, appears to be lost. Good, thank you, Nitya. Ruhanika and Aradhya, go ahead.
This supreme science was thus received through the chain of discipline succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science, as it is, appears to be lost.
Very nice. Thank you. Nandika and Nandini?
Wait, the translation, right?
Yes. We're doing the translation.
Team scientists has received through the change of discipline succession and saint things understood in it that way. But the course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science, as it appears to be lost.
Good. Thank you. Donnie, go ahead.
Science was succeeded through the chain of discipline and understood in that way. In course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Good. Thank you. Who else would like to say the translation? Ashi, would you like to say the translation? Ashi? No? Okay. Oh, Atisha, go ahead.
This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Good. Thank you. Okay, does anyone else want to say the translation? No? Okay.
You know which one? The spaceship.
Has anyone seen this picture before?
Not the exact one, so. Oh, yeah. At the start of the
No?
lesson.
So this is Krishna over here, and he is telling the Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. This is the sun god right here. Okay, and here, under here, this is the sun god. Now he is telling whatever he heard from Krishna to Manu. Okay, Manu is, we call him the father of mankind. He is one of the creators, not the creators, but he is one of the first persons in this universe. Okay, so this is the beginning of the disciplic succession. Disciplic succession means that you have knowledge that is going through a chain, right? It starts from the author, the person who is giving the knowledge, and then it goes down through, so that person will tell, so Krishna is the origin of the disciplic succession, and he is telling that knowledge to the sun god, and then the sun god tells the same knowledge to Manu, and then Manu tells it to his son Ikshvaku, and then like that, the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita was going through a chain of disciplic succession. That's what we call disciplic succession. This word right here that we saw in, oops, going too far here. This word here that we all read in the translation, right? Disciplic succession. That's what this means. Krishna, he's speaking the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to the sun god, and then the sun god says the same knowledge to Ikshvaku, to Manu, and then Manu to his son Ikshvaku, and then like that they pass the knowledge down to whoever comes after them. But Krishna here, he's telling Arjuna that these saintly kings, right, Manu, Ikshvaku, and then whoever came after them, they understood the knowledge purely as it came from Krishna. But over time, the succession, that the knowledge that came through, it got lost. Just like how, have any of you played the game Telephone? Where you sit in a circle and then someone will whisper something to the person next to you, and then you go all around and you keep whispering that same thing. And at the end you hear from the last person what they heard. Has anyone played that before? Yeah? I actually like that game, it's fun. But so similarly, if you remember when you play that game, the last person doesn't always have the right answer, right? They don't always hear the same thing that the first person heard, right? Do you remember that when you play that game? Yeah. So in a similar way, initially the saintly kings in the disciplic succession, they were hearing the real knowledge, but over time, that knowledge became lost. So Krishna, that's why he's telling Arjuna many, many years later. When Krishna told the sun god, that was many years before he told Arjuna. But in course of time, because that knowledge was lost, he's telling Arjuna again the same knowledge so that it can be passed down purely and reach people like us, right? So now, because Krishna's he gave this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, we are able to hear that pure knowledge, right? And we didn't have to be affected by the succession getting broken earlier. Okay? So that's a little bit on this verse. And now let's go ahead to our story. Okay? So what was the last thing that happened in the Ramayan story that you remember? Nandika?
And the thing is that Hanuman comes back for his giant jump, and he and then they're getting ready for
Okay. So Hanuman jumps to Lanka, you said, right?
yeah, and he comes back.
He comes back. Okay. Nitya, what do you have for us?
Hanuman went to Sita, and then now we're coming to when Hanuman came back.
Okay, yeah. So he jumped to Lanka and he found Sita, right? What else happened when he was in Lanka? What did he do in Lanka? Let me see if there's someone who hasn't raised their hand yet. Ansh, can you tell us, what did he do in Lanka?
He burned it.
That's right. So Ravana set his tail on fire, and Hanuman went all over Lanka and he burnt the whole city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Hanuman is looking in the distance and he's seeing that he has burnt Lanka completely in flames, right? And now he's thinking, oh, I need to extinguish that little flame on my tail. It's still burning there. Yes, Dhruv, I see your hand raised.
He actually didn't burn Vibhishan's house, because when he reached Lanka, he heard Vibhishan chanting Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
He heard Vibhishan chanting Ram's names, right? So he realized that, oh, Vibhishan is a devotee of Ram. That's right.
So that's why he didn't burn his house. His house was the only one that wasn't burned.
Nandika, Nandini, your hands are raised.
Say something. So when he was extinguishing his tail, a drop of his sweat got swallowed by a crocodile, and that was the birth of Makarwaj, who was half monkey and half crocodile, and he was Hanuman's son.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that in the story today, but I've heard that too before. But today, So what we're hearing about is Hanuman, he's leaving Lanka, right? Or he's kind of flying away from Lanka. He sees it's burning in flames. He notices his tail is still on fire. So he's thinking of, okay, I need to find a place to extinguish my tail. And once he extinguishes his tail, he realizes that Sita is still in Lanka. And he became so sad and he thought, oh no, what if I burnt Sita too? What would Ram do? Oh my goodness, what do I do? And as he was sitting and thinking about this, he began to think that there's no way that Sita could be burnt. She's so devoted to Lord Ram, and because of that devotion is literally protecting her from everything. She's been in that palace for so many months already, and she's still protected. So Hanuman begins to think in this way, and he decides to go and see Sita again. And when he went back to Ashoka Gardens, he noticed that Sita was indeed there. She was unharmed, despite all of the fire everywhere else. She was unharmed and she was safe. So Hanuman came. He came to bid farewell to Sita, right? And Sita tells Hanuman, she says, "Tell Ram to please come quickly. I'm here and I'm constantly thinking of Ram, and that's what's keeping me alive, but I don't know how much longer I'll be alive for." And then Hanuman offers to Sita, he says, "I can take you back with me. I'm taking one jump and I'm going back, and you can come and see Ram again." And Sita said, no, Ram had promised that he'll come and he'll save me. And plus, it's not only me, there are many other people here that also will benefit if Ram comes here. So for Ram to spread the glories of Ram, I want him to come here personally, and that'll make him even more glorious. So Hanuman, Sita also, I think last time you might have heard that Sita gave a jewel to Hanuman, right? Did you hear that?
Yes.
It's either, yeah. Anyway, it's either at this point or when they first met, Sita had given a little jewel to Hanuman and said that when you go back and see Ram, give him this jewel to prove that you saw me. So finally, Hanuman, he bids farewell. He says goodbye to Sita, and then he goes back to his friends on the mountain that he initially jumped off of to go to Lanka. So as he was coming, he began to roar out of happiness. And then the monkeys who were on that mountain, they heard Hanuman's roar. And then from that roar, they could realize that he must have been successful. He must have found Sita. And they all came out and they started jumping and they were so happy. And when Hanuman came, he told them that he found Sita. And they became so happy, and they were praising Hanuman and saying what a great thing he did and how well he executed his mission of finding Sita. And then Jambavan, do you remember who Jambavan is? Does anyone remember who Jambavan is?
Is the bear.
Dhwani?
The bear.
The bear. Oh yeah.
Dhwani, can you tell us who Jambavan is?
What?
Can you tell us who Jambavan is?
Us. Wait, who are you talking to?
Dhwani.
Oh. Me and Nadine put up an emoji for it.
No. Okay, I thought your hand was raised. I'm sorry. Let's go to Dhruv. I see your hand raised.
Jambavan was the son of Brahma and he was the oldest monkey in the army.
He was actually a bear.
Yes,
Jambavan was a bear. Yeah,
Is
but
it-
he was with the monkeys. And he's a very old, he was kind of like the wise old person in the group. Yeah, but he was a bear.
He was the son of Brahma.
Yes. So Jambavan, and if you remember, Jambavan was the one who reminded Hanuman of his powers. Do you remember that?
Just go ask Professor
Jambavan reminded Hanuman of his powers before. So now Hanuman came and Jambavan said, Hanuman, tell us what happened. Tell us everything. So Hanuman began to narrate to all of his monkey friends about everything that happened, right? From finding Sita in the gardens and how sad she was and how she was always just thinking of Ram to keep herself alive. He told them of how he met Ravana and how he destroyed the gardens and how Ravana tried to burn him alive, but then he burnt the whole city. And like that, he told everything that happened. And again, the monkeys were so happy at what Hanuman did, and they kept praising him, and they became jubilant, right? And they started. Also, as Hanuman was telling the story, he also told the monkeys that, Sita really wants Ram to come soon. And so the monkeys, they also began to think, oh, we can also jump. Why don't we jump and go rescue her and bring her back? But then Hanuman was telling them what she said, that no, she wants Ram to come quickly. So then they all thought, okay, let's make our way to Kishkinda. Does anyone remember what Kishkinda is? Where Kishkinda is? Let's see, someone who hasn't said anything yet. Nitya.
Kishkinda is where Ram and Lakshman were staying.
Yeah, and that is also the kingdom of Sugriva, which is the king of the monkeys, right? So they all made their way. They're going to make their way to Kishkinda to see Sugriva and Ram and Lakshman because they were there, right? So as they were going, they were so happy, right? They were so happy that they succeeded in their mission to find Sita. So they came across this very beautiful garden named Madhuban, and it was one of Sugriva's gardens. And in that garden, there were some really nice fruits, and there was this honey and nectar that if you drank it, you would become kind of delirious. So they went to that garden and they began to eat all those fruits and drink that nectar, and they became overly excited, and they also became very mischievous, and they started to destroy that garden. And the keeper of the garden, the person who would take care of the garden, he became upset and he tried to stop them, but they wouldn't listen to him and they started becoming vicious. So he went to tell Sugriva that the monkeys were causing disturbance in that garden. When he came to Sugriva to tell Sugriva, Lord Ram was present as well. And Ram and Sugriva, they could understand that based on how the monkeys were behaving, it means they had been successful. They were able to find Sita. So Ram he started feeling very hopeful, and he wanted them to come immediately so that he could hear more of what happened, right? So Sugriva sent back that the monkey who took care of the gardens, and he said, tell them to come quickly. So he went back and he told Hanuman and all the other monkeys to come to Kishkinda quickly. So they finally made their way to Kishkinda, and they met Ram and they met Sugriva, and they were all so excited. They were all telling Ram everything that they had heard from Hanuman. So all these monkeys, they were telling little parts of the stories, right? And they were jumping and they were very, very excited to tell Ram. And then Lord Ram, he says, tell me exactly where Lanka is and tell me what was Sita saying? What happened? How did she look? What was going on? So immediately the monkeys, they allowed Hanuman to come forward and then share exactly what he saw. So at that point, Hanuman gave that jewel that Sita gave him, he gave that to Lord Ram. And he said, this is what she gave me. And Lord Ram immediately recognized that that was Sita's jewel, right? And Hanuman also told Ram that Sita is just living only because she's remembering you, but otherwise she doesn't want to be alive for much longer as long as she's there. So she wants you to come very, very quickly. And when Lord Ram heard that, he was, of course, he was happy that they found Sita, but he was also aggrieved that Sita was she was still there and she was very unhappy. And so But Ram was very, very grateful that Hanuman was able to find Sita, right? And he started to say, Hanuman, I can't thank you enough. You did even more than I expected you to. You went over there, you went to Lanka, you found Sita, you spoke to her, you kind of gave her some comfort through what you were telling her. You also saw the whole Lanka enough so that you could come back and tell me. You scared Ravana, right, by burning Lanka. I don't know how to thank you. I'm in this forest. I have nothing to give you. I can only give you my embrace. I can only give you a hug. So he hugged Hanuman very, very tightly. And after that, Rama began to ask Hanuman what did he see in Lanka, and how does Lanka, how is it guarded, right? So Hanuman began to describe the different things he saw there and how the city was structured. And Ram decided that we're all going to, as an army of monkeys, we're all going to go towards Lanka. And many of the other monkeys, they're saying, Ram, listen, we can go. We're able to jump. We can go together and we can just jump, defeat Ravana, and we can bring Sita back. But then Ram was saying that, no, I had promised that I would go and I would rescue Sita and I would kill Ravana. So I want to uphold my my vow. Give me 1 second, everybody. 1 second. Okay. So Ram, all the monkeys are going with Ram, and they're marching to the ocean shore, right? Where Hanuman leapt from. And as they're going, it's just a sea of monkeys. There's so many monkeys, and they're going on piggybacks. They're jumping. They're leaping in the trees as they're going to the ocean shore. And if you can see here, it's just a little bit of all the different monkeys that were there. And when they come to the shore, they began to think, how can we transport this whole army of monkeys? Some of them are able to leap across, but not everybody. How are we going to get everyone across? And there's a little hint in this picture, but you're going to hear more about how they go across the ocean in our next
I know.
classes. I know some of you know, but don't spoil it for everybody else. You can see there is a hint here. So you can think about, how do you think they're going to cross the ocean? And for those of you who know, don't tell. Okay, but here we're leaving Ram and Lakshman and his whole army. They're by the ocean and they're thinking, how do we cross? How do we get to Lanka? Okay. And meanwhile, while Ram and Lakshman and the whole monkey army are thinking of how to get across to Lanka, Ravana, he's sitting with his ministers and his sons, and he's kind of revealing to them that he's a little worried because Hanuman was just one monkey and he was able to burn the entire Lanka. So Ravana was a little worried that if just one monkey could do that, what if there are more monkeys out there with Ram who were going to come and attack his kingdom? So he began to think of getting his armies together for, to protect his kingdom and to go for war as well, right? And so most of his ministers and his sons, they were encouraging him. They were saying, you are so extremely powerful. None of these monkeys and this human Ram can do anything to you. You will be able to defeat them, no problem. We even can defeat them. You don't even have to go to the battlefield. You don't have to do anything. We will take care of them for you. But Vibhishan, which is one of Ravana's brothers, he was the one who was he was a devotee of Lord Ram, actually, and he understood that Lord Ram was a supreme personality of Godhead. He was God himself, and he was supremely powerful. So
he was
he,
Lord Vishnu
that's
himself.
right.
And
That's
so
right.
did Mandotri also, which was his wife, which was Ravana.
Yeah. So Vibhishan, he begins to tell Ravana, he says, Ravana, Lord Ram is supremely powerful. You will not be able to conquer him. I suggest, in fact, I implore that you give Sita back peacefully. Give him back to Lord Ram, and I'm sure he will not do anything to you. Just give him back Sita. You did a sinful act by taking away his wife. So now you're going to have to pay for that with death if you don't give Sita back to him. And Ravana immediately he dismisses what Vibhishan says. He doesn't agree with it because he really wants to keep Sita, right? And over a few days, hold on one second, I'm almost done, okay? Over the next few days, Ravana and his ministers are discussing, how to prepare for war, how to prepare to secure the kingdom. And most of his ministers and his sons, they keep giving him confidence that he will be victorious, no problem. But over those next few days, Vibhishan still keeps imploring Ravana to give back Sita and not prepare for this war. Just give back Sita, make peace with Ram, and he'll be okay. And even at one point, do you remember? I think some of you may know Ravana has a big, gigantic brother called Kumbhakarna. Some of you may know, right? So
For six
and one-
months. For 6 months.
yeah, he sleeps for 6 months, then he eats for 6 months, and he's very, very strong. So at one point, Ravana was discussing with his ministers, his family, and even Kumbhakarna was in that assembly. And even Kumbhakarna told Ravana, he said, Ravana, you made a big mistake by bringing Sita here. This will cause you destruction, but don't worry. Before they can do anything to you, I will go to the battlefield and I will kill everybody and I will finish them. So even his brother Kumbhakarna noticed that this was not a good thing that he did. But he still said, I'll stand by your side because you're my brother and I will do what I can to defeat the Ram's army. Finally, at one point, as Vibhishan kept imploring Ravana to not attack, not fight Ram, and just give back Sita, Ravana got upset. And he said, I'd rather keep Sita than have you here telling me this. You are not my well-wisher. You're just acting like you're my well-wisher, but you're actually envious of me. And then Vibhishan got upset, and he said, I've tried my best to tell you that this is not right what you're doing, but you're not willing to take my good advice. So I'm going to leave. I've tried and I don't want to support you anymore. I'm going to leave. So Vibhishan, he gets up from Ravana's assembly and he leaves Lanka. And we're going to hear next time more about Vibhishan. We're going to hear more about Ram and his army and how he crosses Lanka. He crosses the ocean, okay? And for those of you who know, don't tell your friends. Let's keep it a surprise, okay? That's it for today, my friends. I see Nandika, you have your hand up.
Didn't Vivishn get kicked out? He didn't really decide to leave. Ravana kicked him out.
According to what I read here in Valmiki Ramayan, he actually decides to leave. Ravana he was becoming upset that Vibhishan was not supporting him, right? But then Vibhishan decides on his own that he's going to leave because he didn't want to support. He tried his best to help.
We watched this Ramayana. They've Vivishn got kicked out, so he decided. I don't want to spoil it, but So
Yeah, don't spoil it. We'll hear more about Vibhishan. He'll definitely come back in the story again. Yeah, but according to Valmiki Ramayan, he decides to leave. He doesn't want to be part of this war, or at least he doesn't want to support Ravana.
But then Ravana did think of killing Vibhishan because but he had like promised his mother that he would keep his brothers and sisters safe, so or at least he would try to, but
Hmm. Yeah.
so he couldn't
We'll
break it. So
we'll hear
yeah.
more about that. Maybe we'll hear more about that, about the inside um of Vibhishan's story. Okay. Let's finish with our concluding prayers, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then we can have the end for anything you remember or anything you want to share, and then we'll slowly finish from there, okay? Let's chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra together, okay? Ready? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. One moment, let me stop my screen share here. Okay, now I can see you all. Let's go around and say one thing you remember about the story, one thing you like, something you didn't know, something that you want to share with all of us. Let's see, Nitya.
I like the story.
You like the story? What part of the story did you find did you like?
All of it.
All of it? Is it starting to build up? Right now, Ram is finding his way to Lanka. Yeah. Okay. Who else? I see Ruhanika and Aradhya.
I like the part in which Hanuman burned the whole Lanka.
Yeah. That's amazing, right? Okay, Nandini?
One thing I want to say that we watched the Ramayan that 100 times. So we know like a few things that are different than what you guys are telling us. And the second thing I just want to ask, how come we stopped the story 20 minutes earlier? It's not 20 minutes.
Oh, because you typically end around 2? Is that why? Because you typically finish around 2? Is that why?
Yeah, but
minutes?
like finishing 14 minutes earlier. So like we still have
Yeah. Today's story was a little short. I'm sorry.
I have a question. Is it
Yes.
our next Kahoot?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll find out and I'll let you know. Or you'll find out next week, okay?
Okay.
You want another Kahoot soon?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I hear you. I know Kahoots are fun.
You're glitching.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We have extra time. Maybe? No. Yes. Yeah. Except
Okay,
everybody's frozen.
let's continue. Satya, I see your hand raised. What's something that you enjoyed about the story or the shloka today? Something new, something you didn't know, or that you want to share?
Favorite part
I like the story.
was when Ravana's brother was telling him not to do it.
Okay, yeah, yeah. He was revolting, right? He wasn't going with what everyone was saying. And in fact, he was also telling Ravana that, most of your ministers are telling you these things because they're afraid. They don't want to get in your way. But I'm telling you, out of my own good heart, I don't want to see you suffer. Yeah, but unfortunately, Ravana didn't listen. He didn't want to listen. Thank you, Satya. And Shlok, I heard you say you like the story. Is there anything specific?
I just liked how Hanuman burned Lanka.
Yeah. Hanuman he's awesome. We're gonna hear more about him and many more really cool things that he does. Okay, who else would like to share with us? Ansh, do you have something you'd like to share?
Not really.
Not really? Something you liked about the story? Shloka? Okay. Dhwani. Can you say that again? Hanuman burning Lanka? Yeah. I saw Dhruv, I saw your hand up.
I liked the bit when Hanuman went back to Sita
After burning Lanka? Yeah, yeah, and he was happy to know that nothing happened to her, right? He went to say goodbye. Who else hasn't shared anything yet? Ashi? Ashi, do you have anything you'd like to share with us? All right. Anybody else before we finish? No? All right. Stay tuned. You're going to hear more next time about how Ram crosses Lanka or gets to Lanka. Can you hear me?
1, 6. There's 7 people muted.
All right, friends. So we're going to end here and we'll see you all next week, okay? Have a good rest of your week, rest of your weekend. Hare Krishna. Thank you for being here.
We're 10 minutes
Krishna,
early.
thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hare Krishna.
Bye.